don't you let go.
At CinemaCon 2026, Spielberg made one thing very clear. He has been extremely careful to keep the third act of Disclosure Day out of the trailers, out of the previews, and away from the marketing machine. In a time when trailers often show us half the movie before opening weekend, that choice already tells me something. Spielberg is not just selling images. He is guarding an experience. Disclosure Day is being built around discovery. The central question is simple, but enormous. If someone proved to you that we were not alone, would that terrify you? Would it change your life? Would it change the way you look at every ordinary thing around you? That question is the pulse of this movie, and Spielberg clearly wants audiences to feel it unfold in real time, not as a collection of trailer moments clipped into a 2-minute preview during Universal's presentation. Spielberg said he believes this movie will answer some questions while making people ask many more. He also said all you need from beginning to end is your seatbelt. Coming from almost anyone else, that might sound like a normal promotional line. Coming from Spielberg, it feels different. This is the filmmaker who turned a boy and a stranded alien into one of cinema's most emotional stories, and made close encounters of the third kind feel less like science fiction and more like a spiritual event. When he talks about wonder, fear, and the unknown, he is returning to one of the deepest obsessions of his career. The CinemaCon footage reportedly leaned hard into that classic Spielberg energy. Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor appeared to play characters who were abducted as children and now share some kind of forgotten psychic connection. That idea changes the shape of the movie. Disclosure Day may not only be about alien visitors, it may be about memory, trauma, buried truth, and the terrifying possibility that the most important moment of someone's life was taken before they could understand it. Blunt plays a weather reporter with a connection to whatever is happening beyond Earth. O'Connor plays a man who may have proof that contact has already happened. Colin Firth, meanwhile, seems to be stepping into the role of a powerful official determined to keep the truth hidden. The newest footage reportedly shows him connected to an advanced device, communicating remotely from inside a house, with his eyes changing color in a way that suggests the cover-up may be more complicated than a simple government lie. That is where the movie starts to feel dangerous. Not just because of aliens, because of control, because of the idea that a small group of people may already know the truth and may be deciding, on behalf of 7 billion people, whether humanity is ready to hear it. And the tagline hits harder the more you think about it. This summer, the truth belongs to 7 billion people. That is not just a science fiction hook. That is a political hook, a spiritual hook, a human hook. It asks who owns reality when the truth is too big for institutions to contain. If Spielberg is hiding the third act this carefully, I have a feeling the movie's biggest reveal is not simply going to be the shape of a spaceship or the face of an alien. It may be something about what disclosure actually does to us. CinemaCon viewers also saw imagery that sounds very Spielberg in the best possible way. Blunt and O'Connor running from government agents, bursting into a farmhouse, later boarding a speeding train, a black sky, a strange craft appearing in the darkness, a non-human hand reaching toward a face. These are images designed for a big screen, not a phone screen. Spielberg also used CinemaCon to defend theatrical movies and original storytelling. He praised Universal for giving Disclosure Day a longer exclusive theatrical window, then pushed the idea even further with a joke about 60 or 120 days. Underneath the humor was a serious warning. If Hollywood only chases sequels, remakes, spin-offs, and familiar IP, the creative energy eventually runs out. Disclosure Day is being sold on a filmmaker, a mystery, and a story we have not already memorized. That is risky, and that is exactly why it feels exciting. The cast helps. Emily Blunt brings intensity and vulnerability. Josh O'Connor has the haunted energy of a man carrying impossible proof. And Colin Firth as a calculating gatekeeper of truth is already an inspired choice. With Eve Hewson, Coleman Domingo, and David Cope writing the script, Disclosure Day has the shape of a prestige drama trapped inside a science fiction earthquake. Spielberg also connected the film to his lifelong fascination with the night sky. He said that when he was young, he always wondered what was happening up there. That curiosity has been visible across his career, but Disclosure Day feels different because the culture has changed. Conversations about unidentified aerial phenomena are no longer trapped only in conspiracy corners. They now appear in official hearings, mainstream reporting, and serious public debate. That gives this movie a different atmosphere than Close Encounters. Back then, the question felt like wonder. Now, it feels like wonder mixed with anxiety. What if the truth is not coming someday? What if it has been circling us for years? That is why the third act secrecy matters so much. If Spielberg is protecting the ending this aggressively, the movie may be saving a major tonal shift, a devastating reveal, or a final idea that reframes everything we think we understand. With a film like this, the audience reaction could depend on that final stretch. If the ending lands, Disclosure Day could become one of the defining theatrical events of 2026. But I would not bet against Spielberg when he is working in the territory that shaped him. He also made an emotional promise at CinemaCon after receiving a Special America 250 award. Standing in front of theater owners and industry leaders, he said this would not be his last film. That line matters. Spielberg is not approaching Disclosure Day like a farewell. He is approaching it like a return to wonder, a return to original storytelling, a return to the kind of summer movie that asks audiences to sit in the dark together and look up. Disclosure Day is not just asking whether aliens exist. It is asking whether audiences still want to be surprised, whether studios still have the courage to invest in original spectacle, whether a filmmaker can still keep secrets in an era where every frame gets analyzed before release, and whether a movie can still make a theater feel like a place where something impossible is about to happen. So yes, I want the trailers to stop before they show too much. I want the third act protected. I want the mystery intact. If Spielberg really has something waiting in that final stretch, I would rather discover it the old-fashioned way, in a dark theater, surrounded by strangers, with the sound rising and the truth slowly breaking open on the screen. Disclosure Day arrives in theaters on June 12, 2026, and if Spielberg is right, this may not just be another alien movie. It may be the kind of movie that leaves audiences walking out with more questions than answers, staring at the sky a little longer than they expected. Until then, keep watching closely because with Spielberg, the biggest reveal is almost never the thing he shows you first. It is the thing he makes you wait for.